AMG family, Mondo here. Hey, just wanted to make sure real quick before we get started that you guys have subscribed to the AMG Podcast channel. Go below if you can't see it, look a little, scroll down, whatever you got to do. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us immensely here at the AMG Podcast. The second thing we need you to do is turn on your notifications. That way, anytime we drop new content, you are the first to be notified. That way we can grow together. We can learn in life together and do life together. All right. So with that said, let's get to it. All right, guys, so what's going on? Today, we're going to talk about our IULs for everyone, our Index Universal Life policies for everyone. Now, this is a question that we get quite a bit here at AMG. I get it all the time, man. People want to know, well, should I get a whole life? Or should I get this? Should I get that? Should I get an Index Universal Life? Should I get blah, 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 blah? And it's hard to really break it down in a short conversation. So I'm going to take the time here to really help you understand my thoughts on it. And maybe how you should think about going about choosing whatever product that you want to purchase, right? Whatever vehicle. So just me to you guys, here's how I feel about it. IULs are not for everyone. Let me just go and say it. Now, can anyone get one? Well, depending age, health, and all that kind of stuff, yes. But the design, the purpose of it, are they for everyone? My personal opinion is no. Okay, because it depends on quite a few factors. It's not a matter of does the vehicle work or not, or does it suck or not. It depends on, it all depends. It can be awesome, it can be incredible, it can be trash, and I'll get into that in a minute. But it's some other factors that go into play and why IULs are not for everyone, okay? So I'm gonna go through my notes here to make sure I stay on track and hope you guys are tracking with me, okay? So first of all, the great debate, as you know, what's better, term, whole life? Is a whole life for IULs? Is it IULs or whole life with dividends? Look, man, all of these products are great depending on these key factors, okay? What are your goals, okay? And you want to look at what am I looking to accomplish? You reverse engineer it, and that should help you kind of, wean down on how many products you may consider, one or two, or even just one. Okay. You also want to look at your financial resources. Certain products have certain levels of price points. Of course, your age, your health, and different things play a factor. But generally speaking, right, it's going to be cheaper to get a term policy. I think most people kind of know that. Right? Whole life is going to be a little bit more expensive, right? So if you got to look at your goals, what are you looking to accomplish? Number one. Number two, you want to look at your financial resources. If you're saying, hey, I've got some good money set aside, and but I've got goals like I want to have my money work for me, and I want to blah blah blah. I'm gonna get to more detail, but okay, maybe you have more options on your buffet. But if you're looking at, hey man, I know I need to get some sort of insurance, put it in play. Because I don't have anything or whatever, but I only have X amount of dollars. Maybe it's $50, $100, 150, 200, whatever it is. You're like, I don't have a whole lot, but I know I need to get this done. Term policies may be your way to go, unless you can find something that meets your needs in a whole life realm, where you can afford a lower death benefit or get approved for it, whatever. But you kind of want to look at those two factors, goals and financial resources. The other part is this. Your interest in being involved in that particular insurance contract. Now, typically, the people who get term, they're like, look, set it and forget it. I pay my $50 a month, $30 a month, whatever. I don't want to think about it. I know I have it, and only people going to be thinking about it is when I die is my family. That's it. There's some people that don't want to be involved. It's like set it and forget it. All right. But if you have more of a business acumen, you're looking to work this thing and be involved with the contract like a living, breathing entity as it is, you want to consider a different type of a product if that's your interest. If you're looking at getting involved in doing things with it and having it work for you, maybe changing certain features and this, that, and the other, a term doesn't do that, right? That may not be for you. Okay. You may want to look at a whole life plan. You want to look at an IUL or something different, some sort of permanent life insurance policy. So you got to look at that. So that's goals. There's financial resources. Where do you fit in the financial game regarding what kind of contracts you can afford? Another, maybe your business acumen. Are you a business savvy type of a person, right? Are you, do you have the financial acumen to understand what's going on with these things? If you do, you might, want to look at more advanced type of products. If you're like, financial industry and things, that's not my game. Let me just stay down here in the area that I can dwell in and feel comfortable. Okay, maybe in certain products that fit you over there. So you got to look at goals. What are you looking to do? Number two, you got to look at your financial resources, man. You got to look at how involved you want to be in this particular contract. Do I want to set it and forget it, or do I want to work this thing and churn it and watch it do magic for me and build and be involved? Do I have the acumen? Do I have the understanding? Do I have the financial literacy to understand what all these things mean and how they operate? And do I want to learn about these things? Do I have that interest? So to me, those four things really play a massive part in how you go about choosing the vehicles that you need. It's not about, well, I just need a death benefit. Well, okay, if that is, then if that's your only goal and you have no interest in being involved and you don't have any interest in understanding how contracts can work during your life, okay, maybe you just need to get a term. That's cool, right? Get a final expense. That's cool. Because that one is for your funeral and you just want to make sure that's good and final expenses. Maybe you want to have something to pay the house off and he's like, you know what, or some debt, or if I die in a certain period of time, like old crap money, I want to make sure my family's good if I die in the next 20, 30 years, okay? That's cool. But if you're looking to increase your skill set, your opportunity, you're looking to have some contracts that are actually moving and creating some different things for you while the contract's active, while you're living and all that, then you say, okay, I want to learn some other vehicles like IULs, like whole life with dividends or whatever, right? So are IULs for everyone? My answer is no. It all depends on those four things as an individual. Like what do you want to do? So let me give you a couple of examples of someone who may want a term. Okay, if you want a term policy, but you don't know what it is, but this is what you say. My goal is to make sure that if I die, my wife or family can take care of my debt and pay the house off. Okay, cool. How much interest do you have in, making being active with the policy throughout the years? I have none. I just want to know that my little $50 a month is taking care of the house if I die in the next 30 years, and my wife could use the other money for whatever. Okay, cool. So do you have an interest in learning about other vehicles where you can kind of work it while you're living and all that? Instead of just being an old crap policy, it could be a policy that can do things for you while you're living and also take care of the old crap when you pass away. Okay. Do you have the interest in that? Do you want to learn the financial literacy components to understand how to operate those contracts? No? Okay, great. So your goal is to have money there for your family when you pass, take care of the house, other debts. That's your goal. You have no interest in, being involved in it. Your financial resources are maybe, $50, $100, whatever tops. And you're like, you just want it to be there. You just kind of want to set it and forget it. Okay, cool. A term is what you need, my friend. Okay, that's what, as far if I'm advising you, that's where I'm going to put you in. I'm going to put you in that because that's literally what you're looking to do. Okay, based upon those four factors. If you're someone that says, hey man, I need to get something that's got a death benefit for legacy and take care of certain things, but I also feel like I need my money to work for me a little bit. I'm kind of, interested in the financial game a little bit in industry. I know a little something. So you got any options or ideas? So we may entertain, a whole life, or maybe a whole life with dividends, maybe a conservatively designed IUL. Okay, we'll look at a couple of we'll ABC them to see what's the best fit for you, and we'll work it back. What are your goals? Well, one, I want to make sure there's legacy there. My wife could take care of those kinds of things when I pass. All right, cool. The second thing is I've heard about this thing making money and being there, kind of building another nest egg, if you will, that I can draw from if I need, or just building cash value. I heard about that. I like that idea. I like the fact that, and with this type, I keep it my whole life, right? It's not going to go away like a term where I got to requalify in my 70s for new insurance and pay more premium. Right now, I don't want to do that. I want to kind of lock it in and be good there. Okay, cool. So probably whole life would be the best fit. Some form of whole life. All right, great. And then as far as my interest in being involved, I like watching the numbers and kind of seeing what's going on. And I would love to learn from you and your company how these things operate and what I should be looking out for, this, that, and the other. And then also, man, look, I've been in business. I kind of know how numbers operate a little bit. I've got a little bit of a business acumen to understand these things. So any recommendations, Mondo? Well, we can look at a couple different options for, number one, always going to be permanent life insurance. So it's going to be either whole life with dividends, IUL, whatever. But now I'm going to really drill down on your interest level of, whole life with dividends and kind of how that plays, or traditional whole life, or even IUL, and can show you the differences and how they're designed and all that kind of stuff. So when I find people who are saying, hey, you know what, I have already have term, already have another policy for legacy, but I want something that's going to be used for my life. Like, I've heard about this cash value and how to leverage it, and you can use it for certain things and blah, blah, blah. And, the death benefit, I know that's there for my family, but I'm really more interested in the living benefits. I'm going to steer you over to an IUL all day long. Okay. And then we're going to talk about other goals. Okay. So now you have the living benefits. What are you looking to do with these living benefits? You have business goals. You have personal goals. Are you looking to, just have it as an old crap fund? Are you using it to help with, maybe college funding or whatever? We'll drill down on those things. We'll go over to your financial resources. Okay. In order to play this level of a game, there's a certain monetary amount that comes with that. Okay. Let me pause there for a second. You got to make sure that, like, if you go into a casino, it's probably a bad example, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. So if you're going to a casino and you got penny slot money, but yet you want to work and dwell and gamble and play and reap the benefits of that room back there behind the velvet rope, that doesn't make sense. That math is not mathing, right? So we got to make sure that if you're going to play that game back there, that you've got the resources to play in that game back there, because there are, I wouldn't say minimums, but there's certain types of strategies that require certain types of funding. Let me say it that way. Okay. So if you're going to play back there behind that rope, you can't go back there just because you showed up and you got $100. They're like, this is $100,000 per table you got to come with, or whatever it is, or 50 grand, 10 grand, whatever. So you want to make sure that if you're going to play back, here with the IUL world, or with, whole life insurance, whatever, that you got the proper goals that meet what this product can do. Number two, want to make sure that you got the financial resources at a reasonable level. It doesn't have to be crazy, $100,000, whatever. It could be just a reasonable amount based upon the goals you're looking to accomplish. Want to make sure that you have the interest. You say you want to use living benefits. Well, you got to be involved with this thing. This is not a set it and forget it kind of thing. This is something that you're working and churning over the years. And, if you don't have a business acumen and background, but you desire to have one, this is a perfect starting point with the advice of whoever you're working with, us or someone else, to walk you through what these processes look like and learning about the contracts and how they work and how to leverage them for your life. Okay. So, and ultimately what I'm saying, guys, is that, you can't say, hey, I want to have a vehicle that can help me, move dirt, this, that, and the other, like you'll say like a truck. You say you have a goal like to get a piece of property, you look to move dirt and build something, this and that. You probably should get a pickup or something like that, or some sort of bigger vehicle. I want something that can pull my boat and this and that. Okay, cool. But you can't come in there with Camry money, right? Or Camry financial situation, or you got the goals of this, but you've got the interest of, I know I want this kind of vehicle, but I really don't care about a hitch on the truck for the boat. I just kind of, maybe I'll tie a rope or something. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? You have to have it make sense where your goals and what you're looking to do and that vehicle have to line up. For instance, I like to tell people an IUL is kind of like a Ferrari or say a Lamborghini, right? You don't want to come in with the interest, the finances, the even the acumen, the goals of a term policy, but yet you get an IUL, you get a Lambo, and you don't know how to drive the thing. You don't even have an interest in learning how to drive it. You can barely afford the proper way to fund it and strategies. Like, there's proper funding strategies with IULs and whole life policies. That's not a conversation necessarily on the term life side of things. Okay. Now, again, I'm a fan of all of them. Term has its place. Whole life has its place. IULs have its place. But you want to really look at like, oh, okay, well, if I've got these goals, let's reverse engineer it. Okay. Which product makes the most sense with my financial resources, my interest in being involved, and my understanding and my acumen to really operate this thing? And if I don't have a lot of literacy in regards to that, do I have access to someone who does? Those are the things that are really going to help you drill down the type of product that you should select, in my opinion. Now, excuse me. So if you're looking at, is an IUL for everyone? Answer is no, it is not. Could it be? Yeah, if everyone had the goals and acumen and the financial resources and all that kind of stuff to operate certain strategies that made sense with all those four things, then yeah, it could be. But the honest to God truth is not everyone has the goals that align with IULs. Let's just be real here. Now, a lot of our people that we talk to, because we know how to properly design them, right? And let me get into that a little bit. A lot of people come to us because we know how to properly design them, and we go that way and leverage the living benefits. Now, here's the other part. See, IULs are they're handmade, if you will, like a Bentley, right? They're handmade, they're custom made. They're not. There's no templates necessarily where it's the same for everybody and everybody got the same Bentley. They don't do that. Okay, IULs are the same way. Excuse me. IULs are designed, they're handcrafted, they're with intention. It's with not only your interest, but obviously your age and your finances and your goals. It's looking at what product gives you the best performance for the goals that you have. It's all these different features, and we're looking at what's going on with the indexes, what's going on with the companies, what's going on with the performance, what's going on with your age, your health, your gender, your finances, your structuring with this company in comparison to this company. It's all a lot of moving parts. Literally over here in other areas, and this, I'm not bagging it, I'm not tearing it down, but in term policies, it's literally like, okay, well, I need $1 million in insurance coverage. I'm on a 30-year term. What's the cheapest one? That's typically the strategy. That's the penny slots. Let me just sit down and pull the thing, put it in, and pull the thing, and put it in, and pull the thing, and put it in, and pull the thing. Okay? So where if you're going to go behind the velvet rope is a different ballgame. And that's where the IULs and some high-level whole life policies land and all that, even variable when you get into all that kind of stuff. It's back there, okay? Now they have some other strategies with IULs and whole life and stuff like that can come out. It's kind of middle of the room. It's not all the way to the back, but it's definitely not by the door or the penny slots. It's more in the middle, right? So it's mid-level tables, right? And those are some good products and strategies right there as well, for sure, okay? But you want to make sure that if you're up front, that you have the goals of the front, you have the financial, interest of the front, the understanding of the front, you got the money of the front, and you want the goals and the performance of the front. That's where you are. If you're in the middle, where you're getting, your whole life and IULs and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to be in this area. I got a little bit of change. I'm going to invest in and watch it grow, kind of start working my way towards that back room. Okay, there's some great policies and products there, but you got to make sure that the money's making sense. You got to make sure that your goals are making sense, that your understanding or willingness to learn and understand makes sense. You got to understand that. Then there's the backside. If you're in the backside, in the back room behind the velvet rope with the guys in their tuxedos, and they're like, welcome in, Mr. Grimes, you'll be at table number 4. All right, great. And it's X amount of dollars just to be in here. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to the more advanced types of customized, really intricate type of contracts, that requires certain types of funding. It requires certain type of advisors and agents that know how to design it. Let me say that one more time. You have to have someone in an organization that knows truly how to design them. You can't have a Toyota Corolla mechanic trying to build you a doggone Lamborghini or a Bugatti or a Bentley. It is not going to fly, guys. I can't be more candid than that. I see it all too often. You get old Johnny over here getting a license. He's your cousin. He tells you about the policies and the products in the back. He ain't never been back there himself, but he gonna tell you about what's back there, take you back there, ain't never been back there, put you in something that he's never designed before, and quotes a whole lot of things that other people have said to him, on the side at coffee shops or even on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. And he's going to give you a bunch of quotes and talk about how awesome it is when he really doesn't understand it himself. That's where you get upside down contracts. That's where you get upside down IULs and whole life policies. So you want to make sure that if you're up front in a Corolla, that you got somebody that know how to get you in a template, awesome off the lot type of Corolla, and that thing is kicking for you. That you get that and go hard at it. Okay. If you're in the middle, get somebody in an organization that knows how to design for what you need in that middle part of the room, whether that be just a good, solid whole life, IUL, whatever, even a very large term, maybe it has a return of premium kind of features to it or whatever, but it's kind of in the middle ground. It's a lot of different cool products in there. You know what I mean? Or if you say, hey, I need something where you can use the living benefits and all the other stuff outside of death benefit. I want to know how to really dance with this thing. Okay. Well, you probably want to get a great dance instructor if you're looking to learn how to dance in that back room. So When you're in that back, someone's going to build you a Lambo. Somebody's going to build you a Ferrari or whatever. Okay. Here in the middle, you got to get you, a nice Maxima, get you a nice Infinity, whatever. Okay. Real nice vehicles. It could do it. But in the back, y'all get my point. Okay. Y'all get my point. So are they for everyone? No. Again, just to recap: goals, financial resources, involvement, your interest in being involved and understanding it. And where's your business acumen? Are you looking at this just to check the box and I got some insurance, so I'm good now, let's go fishing? Or are we looking at it like, you know what, I've got this insurance contract and let me go ahead and leverage it for everything that I'm looking to do. Let's look at for the living benefits, the cash value, the loan features, the withdrawal features. Let's look how to leverage this particular asset. Let me put it inside my trust. Let me da-da-da-da. If you're looking to do that, then you need someone who knows how to build that for you, okay? So if you're walking away from this and you're like, man, I don't know what he's talking about, but I need some more instruction, some more understanding, definitely reach out, DM us. You can definitely email me, Mondo at amg-associates.com. Definitely get a hold of us, a hold of me directly even. If you want to learn more about what does this mean for you, maybe I need to look at, Mondo, I just need you to be a Corolla mechanic and just build me a nice little term for my family to cover something crazy happens to me in the next 30 years, take care of the house and some debts. I want to start with that. Cool. That's awesome. Or, hey, you know what? I've been hearing about IULs a whole life and living benefits and all that fun stuff. I may not have a lot of money right now, but can I get started with something? Or I got a mid-level money or whatever it is, or to invest in my particular contract for me and my family. Yeah, we can design that specifically for you based upon your goals, your age, your funding, your health, all those things. We can make sure that's customized for you, not just for now, but also for the future. But if you're in the back and you say, man, I'm looking to get funky with this thing. I want a contract that's going to build legacy, that I can use living benefits. I can use it for my business. I can use it for personal. I can use it for college funding for my kids. I can use it for parenting money. I can use it to buy a property. I can use it, whatever. If you're really looking to dance and come and go from that thing, you need to have a properly designed policy insurance contract designed by someone who knows what they're doing. All right. And I say design, I can't stress that enough. That knows how to properly design a max funded, compliant IUL. All right. So again, a lot of people say, Mondo, I thought you were going to say IULs are for everyone. They're not. They're not. They are for a lot of people. Yes, but they're not for everyone. And that's cool. That's cool. Term is for some people. Whole life is for some people. Whole life with dividends is for some people. Variable life is for some people. Universal life is for some people. Index universal life is for some people. It all depends on what it is you want, where you are today, where you're looking to go, what you're looking to do, right? And your interest in living or not living with this thing for years to come. All right. So with that said, I hope you got a little bit of insight on how I feel about it. Maybe that helps you, discern what you need to do in regards to getting some contracts in place for your family, whether it be over here or over here, whether it be template, whether it be custom, whatever. It's all good. I love term. I love IULs. I love final expense. I love insurance industry because it is, number one, the safest industry to invest in by far. It's not going anywhere. Unlike all the other stuff we see going on in this world, this economy, insurance is always going to be solid. So hope you guys have a blessed day. Enjoy the information. Dig into some of these other videos and see what else you can learn and bring to the table. And we can talk about what this means for you and your family. Y'all take care.